Graduated from Rain High School, and
So where were you born?
in Ged, Louisiana, out of Lake Charles.
Okay.
And we moved here when I was 5.
And what year was that when you moved?
When I was born?
When you were born?
1930.
So you moved to Rain in 1935?
Yes, I was 5 years old.
And you lived in town or kind of in the outskirts?
No, we lived in town.
Okay.
We lived on 812 South Cunningham, and we lived here until we married and moved away. And
So you definitely grew up here in Rain?
absolutely, absolutely.
Did you have siblings?
I have no children, but I had 5 brothers and 1 sister.
Wow.
And they're all deceased. I'm the last one still living, and I'm the baby. And my father worked offshore in the oil.
And what was his name?
A-L-C-I-A. I'll say A-L-C-I-A. And my mother was Olivia.
Very nice.
And my mother was a homemaker. She stayed home and with a brew, you know.
5 boys is a lot.
Yeah, right. And so anyhow, we just grew up here, and a couple of years after I graduated from high school, I was called and asked to come in for an interview and work at the store, a 2-week replacement. And I stayed 23 years.
Nice. A long 2 weeks.
Yeah, long 2 weeks. And
was this your first job then?
yes, very first job. I was going to trade school, and then when they called me, then I went on to have an interview with Mr. Leo Kahn, and I was going to substitute work for 2 weeks, and the way it turned out, I just stayed and stayed and stayed.
Yeah.
Excuse
So
me.
what year was that? You remember?
48, 49, I guess. 49.
So you were out of high school.
Oh yeah, I was out of high school, yes. Yeah, it must have been let's see, I graduated in 47. Must have been at the end of 48 or the beginning of 49, I guess, when I went to work there. And
So it started out as a 2-week job. That's funny.
yes, how about that?
All right.
But we were like a big family. Everybody helped one another, and whoever your co-workers were or your cohorts in crime, you did everything you could to help one another and keep the ship sailing and keep everything, you know.
Did you shop there growing up?
Absolutely. We had a discount, so in those days they had a huge domestic goods, so we bought all our material there, and we had a little lady that, I had a little lady that would sew for me and charge me $3 to make me a pantsuit or $3 to make me a dress. So I had a lot of clothes because I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money. And
Did you?
yeah, I did all my shopping there. I mean, my clothing and my shoes.
And did your parents shop there too as you were growing up?
Absolutely. I can remember growing up as a child, they always had a drawing at Marion Collins. And I don't really remember too much how it went, but you got a picture show ticket. And you kept your, and they had a duplicate in a big barrel, and they would spin the thing and call out the numbers, and they paid you in tokens.
Nice.
You know, so you had to shop at Marion Collins.
Right.
And I remember going there then, and my mother did all our clothing, all our everything there.
Was there any other stores in town, or was it pretty much?
Yeah, there was Saul Kahn, and on the other block, and to tell you the truth, I don't think I ever went in the store. And we had a dress shop. We had, I don't remember the name of it, Polly's, I believe, Polly's or something. And they had cute things. I bought a few things there, and then they had Kennedy's Dry Goods, not too terribly far from where we were. And of course they had a dime store there that it's called Worthmore, and it had been there and is still there.
Oh, nice. What is a dime store?
It's like
Kind of like a dollar store?
Cheap, yeah, like a dollar store, except they had a little bit of everything.
Nice.
You know, and people that would sew and whatever, you could go there and match your seam binding or your threads or whatever. If you couldn't find it at our store, you know, at American College, then you could go there, and they did a lot of flowers, just like the dollar stores, you know, and it's still open today.
That's amazing. It's a good business then, huh?
Oh yes.
Let's talk about growing up in Rain. What was it like? Where did you go to school?
I guess we were all poor. We didn't realize we were poor. We had plenty to eat. We always had a car and, you know, whatever. But you had your little money to go to the picture show on Saturdays and the usual routine, church on Sundays. And everybody came to eat Sunday at noon. You know, my mother would cook for all her kiddos and stuff like that. And it was a quiet little town. We, you know, we didn't... my brothers went to dances and whatever, and since I was the last children, well, by the time I grew up and came out of high school, then they had other enterprises that opened, and we didn't have a whole lot to offer kiddos.
Small town, yeah.
Yeah, you know. And I can remember getting all excited the first time they had a drive-in came in, you know, like one of those root beer, whatever they call it, A&W or whatever. And then we had an ice cream parlor, and that was really going some, you know. Not a whole lot of, you know. And but everybody, we just enjoyed life, and everybody had a little chore at home, and everybody worked.
Did most of the community go to the same church, or were there a couple different churches?
Well, it's predominantly Catholic, but we had Baptist church and we had Methodist church, and I think that's all they had when I'm coming up, when I was teenage and whatever. And we worked for the Jewish family, but they had their church in Lafayette.
Okay. Were you involved with any community groups?
Well, I was a Catholic daughter, you know, and didn't have a whole lot of community, little theater.
Right.
But we had to go to Crowley, you know, I mean, not a whole lot of anything in Rain. But yes, we did a few little things, and after the war, the men folks was all at the American Legion, and of course it always was a nice place for the men to go, because First World War, they had a lot of veterans, and they kept the American Legion going a lot. And
nice. So, tell me about your school. Was there a school in Rain or just outside?
Oh yes, in Rain. Well, when I started school, I went to Southside, which was a little grade school until I guess the 7th grade, and then we transferred to the high school, and where the high school is today.
Oh, cool.
And some of my brothers, when they went to high school, they went to Central School because it was the high school and whatever. It was just centrally located in the little town. But then they, I guess eventually they demolished it. I don't remember. But one of my brothers graduated in 1940, and the school was built, but not the stadium, and so their graduation was outside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
In the middle of this hot weather.
Yes.
Wow.
And then as I guess the town progressed, you know, then they added other things to the school, to the high school, and we had a nice home ec department, which I liked.
Oh yeah.
And
so you mentioned when you graduated, but I forgot the date.
I graduated in 47, honey, 1947.
And when did you start school? What?
Well, I we moved here when I was 5, and I didn't start school until I was 6, because, or almost 7, I guess, because the cutoff date was like September, and I wasn't going to be 6 until March.
Oh, okay.
So then I had to wait and start then, you know. And the usual things Catholic girls do, you know, make your first communion, your confirmation, and
I'm Catholic myself, so it's kind of nice to come down here to
yes.
Catholic.
And then we all worked, all my brothers, you know, they had part-time jobs as they were growing up, and not my sister and I, because we were too young, but...
So was it all your brothers older, and then you had a sister, and then you? Or?
Yes, I'm the baby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they're all deceased. I'm the last one living.
So you mentioned home ec was your favorite subject, or one of your favorites in high school. Did you do other kind of extracurricular activities?
Well, we did interpretive reading, and we had, during the, I guess, the Second World War, we, they had, I don't know, kind of like ROTC would come, and we'd do a little bit of that, and,
okay.
You know, for our exercise, our...
Kind of a PE thing?
Yeah, our PE thing, yeah, and
nice.
Nothing too exciting, but it was fun, and, you know, we had a good library. We had a nice librarian, and, you know. And we didn't have any place to eat. There was no cafeteria. We had to go across the street. They had a little grocery store, and the lady would make sandwiches.
Nice.
Or you brown bagged it.
So when you mentioned that the drive-in, the restaurants came through, did you ever have drive-in movies around here?
Well, we had a movie theater. Mm-hmm. We did. We used to go as a child. I remember going on Saturday because all the kids were going, and I would imagine it was a cowboy movie of some kind, I guess.
Yeah.
And then later on, then they would open all week long, so then you could go and see features at night. And I couldn't tell you what I saw or anything, because I'm not too big on movies, you know. And
how did you meet your husband?
How did I meet my husband? We were neighbors with his sister.
I didn't catch his name earlier.
We were neighbors with his sister.
Okay.
And when he would come on furlough, or he would come to visit, but then we'd all visit together. And his name was Thomas Broussard, from Broussard, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And his sister was Mrs. Aaron Nugent. And so we eventually married after I graduated, and he came out of the service. He was the Air Force, and then we married. And then we married in '52. And he died young. He had pancreatic cancer.